Demar Derozan's been back to his former team numerous times since the trade, but never with this much at stake. The Toronto Raptors hosting the Chicago Bulls. Winner gets a chance to play for a playoff spot. First quarter, it's Derozan with a little bit of home cooking. But then from there, the Raptors get hot. Pascal Siakam had one of them games. The three-pointer is good, and then Pascal out the post, showing you that work. Pascal, 32 points. The Raptors are up by 8. Right before the half, it's Fred VanVleet for 3, reminiscent of a deep three-pointer Kyle Lowry made years ago when he was playing with DeMar DeRozan. Toronto's up 11 at the half. Third quarter, Zach LaVine would wake the Chicago squad up. He goes deuce. Then how about Patrick Williams? A man throwdown. And then more LaVine. Just 9 points at the half. He goes for 17 third quarter points. Zach taking over this basketball game, putting the Bulls on his back, no BS. Check out the great defense from Patrick Beverley. The block on OG Anunoby, and guess who again? It's Zach LaVine. Those Zach attacks. We're tied in the fourth quarter now, 93 apiece. Patrick Beverley on defense. There's Patrick Beverley on offense. That three put Chicago out in front. And then how about DeRozan? Again attacking his former team with great force. The Bulls are now up by 3. Does Toronto have a response? VanVleet had 26 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. We're tied again. LaVine leads them back. DeRozan plays closer. Chicago up by 4. Raptors got one last punch left in them. It's Siakam to throw down. It's a 1-point game after some Chicago free throws. Raptors need a 3 to tie. 14 seconds to go. Siakam's going to get fouled. It appears that Caruso fouled Siakam before the shot. The refs talk about it and give Pascal 3 free throws. So he got a chance to tie. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but it's actually DeMar DeRozan's daughter, DR DeRozan, that's screaming as a visitor. I would give her a little credit. It looks like she forced some misses from Pascal. Maybe pressure did it as well. But the Raptors' season is over nevertheless. They lose 109-105. The Bulls will now go to Miami to take on the Heat. Winner is the 8th seed out east. Giannis is waiting. I want to give some credit here to Zach LaVine. We don't usually give Zach credit around this time of the year. He has had some struggles in the few postseason games that we have seen him play. But he came out and produced in a major way for the Chicago Bulls. 39 points to lead them over the Toronto Raptors. So before I go anywhere further, I want to give Zach some credit. I mean, that's pretty much a playoff game. That atmosphere was crazy in Toronto. They had fans inside, fans outside. The Raptors, this is a team that has a huge support base. And obviously that Toronto fan base is no fool. They know that that could have been Nick Nurse's last game as their coach. Matter of fact, my guess is that was Nick Nurse's last game as their head coach. They wanted to give it their all. And by the way, the Raptors have had just as much success as anyone not named Miami against Giannis Antetokounmpo this decade. You get to the play-in game against the Miami Heat. Maybe you win that one. You get in the first round of the playoffs against Giannis and the Bucks. Hey, Toronto's got some bodies. I'm not saying that they would have beat Milwaukee, but I think they would have fared just as good as Atlanta would have, as Miami may have, and even the Chicago Bulls, who didn't fare well against them last year in the postseason. I think that's what Toronto was kind of feeling. That was a tough place to put up some buckets, but Zach LaVine did his part. And I want to shout out DeMar DeRozan. He had his beautiful baby girl in there causing a ruckus in the building as she continued to scream throughout the game. I want to give DeMar some credit in this regard. The Toronto Raptors, in theory, traded DeMar DeRozan for one championship. They got one run out of Kawhi Leonard. He was incredible during that one run. He let them know from the jump, I want to get to California when this year is over. Kawhi did not lie to the Toronto Raptors as soon as the year was over. I don't think he ever even considered the Raptors as a real option long term. The Toronto Raptors got a championship out of this. That moment, I'm sure, will live with fans for the rest of their lives in their heads rent-free. It was worth it. Let's just throw that out there now. Let's not be prisoner of the moment. Demar Derozan has been playing out of his mind. Kawhi Leonard's been hurt a lot of the last few years. Let's not be ridiculous and foolish. It was worth it for the Toronto Raptors to trade DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi took them to a high that, unfortunately, DeMar could not get to. Matter of fact, most athletes can't get to the level of play Kawhi took the Toronto Raptors to that season. I do want to say this, though. DeMar has made it a conversation. The fact that we even having this conversation tells you how great DeMar's been playing over the last couple years since he joined the Chicago Bulls. The fact that you can even think for one quick second, damn, did the Raptors make a mistake trading? That's all that DeMar can do. Because, again, Kawhi came in and delivered. And I do believe Kawhi is going to be a top 30, top 35, top 40 athlete of all time when it's all said and done. The fact that DeMar even makes you think, as a Raptors fan, for 1/2 inch second, man, I would love to have DeMar back in. That means he's playing some exceptional ball. You won a championship with the guy you traded for. But the fact that DeMar's been balling out of his mind over the last couple years has revitalized his career. Now he looks like a guy that can play for 3 or 4 more years at an elite level. He's already in his 30s. That just tells you how great a ball DeMar is playing. And I'm sure it made him feel great about himself to give it to his team, the former team, the team that drafted him, to give it to that team one last time with a bye-bye, y'all. I'm out of here. Kawhi's already gone. Kyle Lowry's already gone. And guess what? You're about to lose your head coach, Nick Nurse, as soon as this season ends. Go home for the rest of the summer. Go home. Start your summer early. It's still spring. Go home, Toronto. Go home. It's over. Your season ends here. And I think for DeMar DeRozan, that had to feel great as his one last little punch to that Raptors organization, because they had their fun. DeMar was playing for Greg Popovich of the San Antonio Spurs as the Toronto Raptors were celebrating their championship. This is DeMar's little jab back.